What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I have been away for a little bit, but I appreciate you so much for clicking on this video. Like, you don't even know how much I appreciate it. So in today's video, I am going to be talking about different stigmas that are surrounding counseling, different negative things that people think about instead of attending counseling, and that can be things that people have either heard themselves or have been told. So I got a lot of feedback from a bunch of different people, and I really just want to call BS on a lot of those different things that, you know, we either hear growing up or even in our adult life when it comes to seeking help, because people tend to make it seem like there's something wrong with, you know, talking to a counselor or a therapist about things going on in your life. So I created a list and I just want to read off some of those things. But before I get into that, make sure that you like, you comment, and or subscribe. If you are already subscribed, thank you so much. The very first one on the list is "you'll be fine, get over it." Like, bruh. So with that one, it literally solidifies the entire point of why counseling is so important, because you're literally, by saying just get over it, whatever it is someone's dealing with, you're disregarding their feelings. And these are feelings that they obviously want to talk about, want to process, want to work through. And by you saying just get over it, it's easier said than done. You know, it takes time to work through things. So that's literally one of the many reasons people need therapy, because people just don't take stuff seriously unless it's them dealing with it. The next one is that a counselor or therapist will judge you. No, they won't. No, they won't. I mean, I can't say that they not gonna just like talk about little tidbits to their friends after work without disclosing your name, because of course that goes against the laws. But it's their job to help you. And the thing that I think is so great about it is because they do not know you personally, it's an unbiased opinion, and that can make a huge difference. And I'll try to touch on that a little bit more later. Bringing up trauma isn't helpful, y'all. How does ignoring something that's been bothering you for who knows how long, how is that beneficial to you if you're ignoring things? Like, if you're not allowing yourself to be in the position to address it and to find a healthy way to work through it, then you're just holding on to that and you're not able to move forward in your future. I mean, you can, but you still have that hovering over you whether you realize it or not. So you might think you're over something. It's easy to just be like, oh, F this and F that person. But until you're able to address the feelings you have towards that person and why, you carrying that along in an invisible backpack, and you don't even realize it until you're able to go about that in a healthy manner. And that's what a lot of people, you know, they don't realize. You can say, oh, forget this, I don't care. But if you're not addressing it, you taking all them issues wherever you go. You think you've gotten rid of it and you haven't. Next one, you let people worry you that bad that you gotta go to a therapist. Let me just say this. People can be so petty. Like, this is such a petty statement. And it kind of reminds me of like the type of statement when people borrow money from you, and then when you want your money back, they like, you really gonna trip off of that little money? Like, they downplay stuff. They try to water it down like it ain't a big deal, and it is. Every person in life has their own individual stressors, right? We all handle things differently. We all have different, you know, coping mechanisms. Lord, why can't I get that out? And so we all deal with stress in different ways, and we all have different levels of stress. So to basically tell someone like, I want to dictate how I think you should deal with your stress, is crazy, because what stresses you out might not stress me out, and vice versa. And the way you deal with stress might not be the way that I deal with stress. So it's like, let people cope in a healthy and positive way that fits their life, not yours, but theirs. Don't be telling nobody all your business. I feel like this one is like a sneaky way of saying like, oh, I feel like if you tell them what's going on with you, you're not gonna tell me. And it's like, what the next person got going on doesn't take away from you. It's kind of like that thing where you and somebody else can have similar interests, or a similar business or things like that. And that person who has the mindset of, if me and this person are doing the same things and we either know each other, run in the same circles, or whatever the case may be, I feel like us doing something similar, you doing that over there, me doing it over here, takes away from me. How? How does that take away from you? How does that rob you of what you got going on in life? Did it ever occur to you that sometimes you can work together with other people and have an even bigger impact? But people don't even be thinking about that part of it. It's such a competitive nature. So I feel like with that statement, it's like, yeah, that person can talk to you, but maybe they want to dig deeper. Maybe they want to go more in depth about things they're dealing with a professional where, you know, they not going to get a certain type of opinion because it's their job to help them. So you paying somebody to just talk to you. Yeah. Yeah, why not? We spend money on so many unnecessary things, things that we do not need, things that we do not use, things that we hoard and say like, oh, I'm gonna need it or use it eventually, and it just sits around, just a whole bunch of crap. So why not spend money investing in yourself for something that's not even gonna take up no space in your house? All you're doing is paying to assist yourself with having peace of mind. And for me, I know one of the phrases I use all the time, anytime a job is annoying me, is y'all do not pay me enough for my peace of mind. But a person who can help have my peace of mind stable is a counselor. A person that can help have your peace of mind stable is a therapist. So why not pay them when they're allowing you to be a healthy version of yourself? That is an investment for you. Mentally, emotionally, whatever it is that you're dealing with. So absolutely don't allow anyone to make you feel like that's a waste of money or something silly to spend money on, because sometimes your cousins, your friends, whoever it is you've been to, they might not always have the best answer, and that doesn't take away from those friendships. But I know I'm not the only person that's ever reached out to somebody and I've gotten like horrible advice at times, where it's like I went to them for help and I literally felt worse after the conversation was over. Like I went from sad to like, I'm finna just lay down in a dark room because you done blew it, right? So talking to a therapist or a counselor can definitely change that. Spend your coin, sis. Spend it. Ooh. So this next one. Why seek man when you can just seek God? And this one is just so tricky, and I've definitely heard this one a lot. I definitely come from a religious family, and I do believe in God, but people definitely will pick and choose what parts of the word that they want to focus on for their own personal benefit to preach to somebody else. And a lot of times those people that are always coming off so preachy, you ain't even been called. So how you gonna try to tell me what I need to be doing, or how my relationship with God needs to be? I feel like a lot of these people who think along these terms definitely can be hypocritical to a certain extent, because the word teaches us, you know, to make sure you have the faith of a mustard seed, to trust and believe in God that He has all power to do the things in your life that, you know, you are seeking, to have that relationship with Him, trust in Him, and all that good stuff. So if that's the case, why can't the same faith of a mustard seed I have to trust in God, why can't I use that trust to believe that He's going to place the right counselor in my life to help me through the trials and tribulations that He already knows I'm going through? This job was invented for a reason. So how can people frown upon somebody for wanting additional help? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't understand why people feel like going to a counselor means you're like against God. Why can't you do both? What's the issue? Like, people make it seem like it's some type of weird versus battle, like counselors versus God. therapists versus the disciples. Like, it's not, it ain't gotta be that deep. Like, I swear it don't gotta be that deep. You literally can do both with no issue. He literally created the things that you're trying to say go to him for. But this is a physical person that you can talk to. It doesn't mean you don't trust him. It just means that you want professional help. He allowed these people to study these things to become professionals. So yeah, like, get y'all thought process together, because yeah, no. Only weak people need counseling or therapy. I definitely disagree with that one. I feel like as a person, you have to be strong enough to realize when you're in a place of weakness, to be able to be mature enough or adult enough to say, you know what, I'm trying to get myself through something, but I think I need help. I think I need assistance from someone else to truly overcome this. You know, it's okay to get yourself started, but if you feel like you can't get yourself there, there is absolutely nothing wrong with getting help from another person. And people try to make it seem like that's weakness, but I feel like that's definitely a strength, because it's easy for somebody to back away from something or to avoid something or to be a coward in a situation. So I don't see any issue with getting assistance. I think that is the ultimate strength that you can have, is by saying I need help, because it's so hard to do that for, you know, most people. What's wrong with you? People just want to better themselves. Of course there's something going on with them of why they would be wanting help, but it doesn't mean that they just are about to go crazy or, you know, something like that. It's just knowing yourself enough to introspect and say, I can't do this by myself. I need to talk to somebody that can help me get through whatever the situation is. Ain't nobody helped me and I got through it. I had to do like all of this with it, because I just imagine that's how the person said it. And that's just such a selfish way to look at the situation, simply because it's like, okay, that's your choice. You decided to go through it on your own without telling anybody or whatever. But what does that have to do with the person that's coming to you just saying like, hey, I think I want to see counseling? You know, you can't put that on them for having a different approach of wanting to handle something. So I think that's so selfish to basically be like, well, if this is how I did it, this is how you need to have it. No, like, why can't that person go a step further? Because you might still be holding on to that stuff internally and not realizing it. It's not needed because they don't know what they're talking about. What? These people are literally professionals who went to school to study all this different stuff, to be able to practice and eventually be able to help people. This is literally what they do day in, day out, of knowing a whole bunch of different ways to completely retrain your way of thinking. So it's just crazy for people to say they don't know what they're talking about. And again, I think it kind of ties into the other one of saying like, don't talk to them, you can talk to me, because they want to know what's going on with you. And all at the same time, sometimes those people who feel like, oh, I don't want you talking to them, just tell me what's going on with you. Hell, they probably the reason that you need help anyway. So how I'm gonna talk to you and be able to be a better version of myself when you probably part of the problem? But people don't be thinking about it from that aspect. You are going to a professional who has an unbiased opinion, which is super important, because I had to realize over time that sometimes the people you call friend is not really your friend. It just ain't always like that. That person don't always like you, sis. That dude don't always rock with you like that, bruh. And you have to be able to know the people who are giving you advice because they want what's best for you, and people that give you advice because they want what's best for them. Because trust me, there's a difference. There's people in the world who will give you advice based on their own benefit, what they can get out of it. But of course, they gonna word it in a way that make it sound real good. They gonna put it in a way where it seems like they helping you, but that's not always the case, you know? So getting that unbiased opinion is very important, because you have someone who's rooting for you and doesn't have any type of reason to not want what's best for you. So, you know, they don't have any anything about your past in the way about the things that they want you to do, the decisions they want you to make. Sometimes we can reach out to people and, you know, maybe you want to restore a friendship with someone or a relationship or whatever, and someone who's known you for years, they have their own personal feelings about that person, so they're giving you advice based on what they want you to do versus talking to someone who can help you get your thoughts together. So overall, I am all for counseling. I think that it is something that is super important to be able to help you learn how to process, how to address things. I personally have been attending counseling and it has worked so well for me. I am just so grateful for it. If it's something that you are considering doing, I definitely would say go for it, because there are a lot of benefits to it. Like I said, just being able to address things and work through them. If someone has said these things to you and it's something that you have been considering, I would definitely say go ahead and, you know, get some counseling in. People can be really negative at times, but it's really up to you on what you want for yourself, what you want for your life, and whether or not you decide to just give into those things and making sure you're ultimately doing what's best for you and not paying attention to the naysayers. So that's all I have for this video. I definitely think I'm going to do a part 2. Definitely just kind of dive in more into my personal experience, some of the benefits of counseling, and then also just, you know, whether or not counseling may be right for you if it's something you're considering. So again, make sure that you like, comment, and you subscribe. Share this video. Drop me comments down below if you can think of some other topics for me to do for my Eloquent episode series. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.